Hi, my name is Krista McCann. I am the Executive Director of the South Huron Hospital Foundation, but the reason I am here today is because I was invited to say some words about my experience with Patti Down and how I got to know Patti. I certainly didn't know her as long as perhaps some of you did, but I got to know her very well in the short period of time that I did know her, and I think anyone who got to know her seemed to get to know her very well. She became a good friend to many people very quickly. The first time I connected with Patti actually was when she reached out to me and asked me to be part of the first Handbags for Hospice, and it sounded exciting, so I thought, yeah, why not? I will join. And I am really glad that I did, because it actually kick-started a series of events that ended up shaping my life and career in a way I could never have expected. Working with Patti was just such a reward, because she was so full of enthusiasm and excitement, and she was really passionate about this Handbags project. And I had no idea what Patti's circumstances were. She did not make that obvious. She didn't talk about it. Nothing was about Patti. Everything was about what Patti was trying to accomplish. Everything was about her passion and the things that she was doing. And it wasn't until about, I'm going to say, half a year through our planning of the first Handbags for Hospice that somebody explained to me that she was living with metastatic breast cancer. And that's when it really hit me what kind of human being Patti really was. Handbags for Hospice #1, it was just such an awesome feeling. An amazing group of people putting it on, powerful women, everyone just so passionate about the project. Went off without a bang. Sorry about the tears, they're getting me tissue. And it was just awesome. And then, of course, COVID had to hit after that, because, like, why not take the wind right out of our sails? But there's no such thing as taking the wind out of Patti's sails. No. She was like, we are still going. We are still doing this. And so we did a virtual one, and we said, you know what, whatever it ends up being, it ends up being. But of course, it was awesome too. And during that time, I think Patti was maybe experiencing some more health challenges, and I brought with me today some of the letters. Any of you who have gotten to know Patti, you've probably received a card or two from her. It was one of her famous things, and these are just a few that I received from her. You know, it's funny, the very first newsletter that I sent out from the hospital foundation, so just a standard fundraising newsletter that I sent out, and of course I get a card in the mail from her saying how lovely it was and what a great job I had done. And just the fact that she takes the time to do that, and it wasn't just for me, it was for lots of people. But there were a couple of cards that I went through, and I just thought it would be appropriate to share some of these messages with you. This one in particular was during the time that COVID had kind of put a stop on the live event for Handbags, and Patti, with some health issues, had kind of taken a bit of a back seat. I certainly missed connecting with you and the group for the last Handbags. I felt a huge hole in learning and being part of the planning, and just being around the people who are so passionate about this cause. It means so much to me. I want to thank you so much for all you did for our first 2 Handbags. I wish you the best always, and I'd like to leave you with a little saying that one of my first students had hanging in our office when working with our Alzheimer's clients. Since then, I've had it hanging in each classroom and my home office. Please keep it with you, whether you hang it in your office or put it in a drawer. The words that Patti left for me. You learn by living. Be someone you respect. This means having a deep sense of responsibility for your thoughts and actions. It means keeping your word and being faithful to yourself, family, and work. It means believing in what you do and working hard. It means setting your own internal standards and not comparing yourself to others. It's not a question of being better than somebody else. Respect and integrity demand that you be better than you thought you could be. Author unknown, but passed on by Patti. Thank you, Patti. You are honestly one of those humans who is irreplaceable, but the energy that you put into Handbags for Hospice is forever alive, and it will continue to be what it is because of the spark that you ignited it with. We love you.
Hi, I'm Kendra Craig, and I have known the Down family for my whole entire life. My family went to church with them, and I went to school with her younger sister, Deb. But I didn't get to know Patti until the summer I turned 16. I decided that I wanted to join the intermediate ladies fastball team called the Exeter Greys. And Patti was a pitcher, and I came in as a young catcher. And she immediately took me under her wing, and we became fast friends almost immediately. I think the thing I remember the most about Patti at that time was her passion, dedication, tenacity, and giving 110% to anything she did. I always remember her dad telling me a story that as a kid growing up, she would pitch against the garage door so many times that he had to replace it probably 10 or 15 times, because that was just Patti and what she did. We had a lot of fun back then, and I definitely learned what it meant to be a super athlete, because she definitely was one. Fast forward a few years, and I was the coach of my daughter's fastball team. So I immediately thought of Patti, and I gave her a call to ask her if she would come and coach with me. And she never hesitated. And as soon as she said yes, I knew she was all in. So she helped me for 2 years, coach the team. And we connected and had so much fun. And even though she was sick at the time and undergoing some fairly major treatments, she gave it her all, and the girls really appreciated her effort, for sure. Fast forward several more years later, and I get a call from Patti. It was January of the first year of the Handbags for Hospice. She was asking me to come out and just learn about the project. She had seen things happen in other communities like this and thought it would be a really good fit for Jessica's house. And she wondered if I would maybe get involved. And I said, sure, I'll come out to the meeting and I'll just hear what you have to say. And through Patti's persuasion, as she is always good at, I became the chairperson of the sponsorship committee. Even though I had no idea what I was doing and no experience, and it was our inaugural year, we forged ahead and made this event happen. Patti probably was the most tenacious, dedicated person to this event, and between her and I, we ended up getting some sponsors for the first event, and that night was awesome. So many women coming up for the cause of Jessica's house. So much fun, so much laughter, and we just had a great night. Over the years, I know it has changed its format because of COVID and other things that have been going on in the world. This year, I'm so glad that we are going back to our inaugural year's format, as I love the fact that we're all getting together as a group of people in one room to celebrate such a great cause such as Jessica's house and to honor Patti. I'm so glad to have known Patti as a co-athlete, as a co-coach, as the chair of this amazing committee, and most of all, as a friend. Thanks.
Hi everyone. I hope you're all having a wonderful time tonight thus far. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brenda Pincombe, and I am a local gal, and I'm truly thankful to be doing this tribute to Patti Down, so thank you, Megan, for asking me. Patti and I were part of each other's lives for many years in many different aspects, so I feel I knew her pretty well. We both grew up on farms in Usborne Township. We attended the same church, the same public school, the same high school, and even though we were in different grades and had different groups of friends, I always knew what Patti was up to. She was involved in clubs, she played on school teams, school council. You know Patti, she was involved. It was awesome. And also, early on, we did 4-H clubs together. Not me so many, but Patti did a lot. My favorite was at her farm when we did Let's Bake Bread. That was my favorite one. Our paths also crossed in the world of sports and careers. We figure skated together. Patti forever taking a tumble, but always getting up with a huge smile on her face. We did our bronze cross and our leadership swim classes together, because she, again, was always so eager to improve herself. And for a fleeting moment, one summer, we played ball together. As you know, though, Patti, she went on and had a great ball career, I believe, as a pitcher. Then we both became elementary school teachers, and I would run into her at workshops, and we would chat and moan about the good and the bad of the teaching world. But anyways, that was a little bit of our history. And you know, our paths didn't cross for many years, and then when I moved back to the area, we kind of got hooked up again through Jessica's house, and you know, we grew up. We were in our late 50s, and she approached me about volunteering here, and I thought, well, yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer because, you know, why not help out my local community, support a good cause, and pay my respects to the amazing Hamather family. And then time went on and Patti thought more action was needed in the area of fundraising. So that's when Handbags for Hospice, she's like, yep, that's the ticket. So she chatted with me many times at great lengths about her vision and the needs and the ways that she thought I could help. Her ideas were huge, right? The dreams were lofty and large. And honestly, folks, I thought Patti was crazy. I thought, where is little old Exeter in Huron County ever going to get the support and the money and the dedication? But you know Patti, she was relentless. Her energy shocked me. And here she was struggling with cancer herself, and she was taking on this massive project. She rallied the troops and she formed an amazing committee of ladies to begin the Handbags for Hospice journey. And as they say, the rest is history. No one will ever know the countless hours Patti devoted to researching this event, canvassing sponsors, buying prizes, organizing decor, delivering purses, writing thank yous. You name it, she did it and oversaw all of it. Patti was a gift sent to us to serve in so many ways. I will never forget her. The time, the talents, and the treasures that she bestowed upon her family, her friends, Jessica's House, Handbags for Hospice, and our lucky community. It was a privilege to be Patti's friend. Ladies, the torch has been passed. And as Patti would say, have fun tonight and spend large. I want to just say a huge cheers to Patti Down. Thanks for having me.
Hi there, my name is Kim Winbow. I'm a former employee at Jessica's House. I started out on the planning committee for Jessica's House back in its inaugural days, and I'm happy to be here to support Jessica's House and Handbags for Hospice. When the ball started rolling on the planning for our first Handbags for Hospice event, we were a committee of eager women who wanted to make this inaugural event a huge success. Patti took on the role as chair with the determination that this would be indeed a night to remember. After the first few months of planning, Patti approached me privately to ask if I would take on the role as co-chair. She was worried about her health and the anticipation of some possible concerning test results. It was important to her to ensure that someone could step into her shoes if she wasn't able to fulfill her duties. I was more than happy to be her right hand throughout the planning process. Although at times it felt like we would get ourselves caught in the weeds of the small details, she never lost sight of the big picture to raise money and awareness for Jessica's House. Maria Hamather, Patti, and I went on a road trip to the outlet malls in Milton to shop for handbags of all shapes and sizes. We had a blast that day. Walking back to the car with our arms filled with shopping bags from all the designer stores, we laughed thinking to ourselves, we really were having our Julia Roberts Pretty Woman moment. We could barely get the trunk closed, and I still chuckle remembering Patti in the back seat surrounded by so many bags. We sold every handbag but one that year. Amongst the fun and busy times we had during our planning, it wasn't lost on any of us that Patti was managing the day-to-day reality of having cancer. Her courage, conviction, and persistence kept us all moving forward. And at times, when I was feeling overwhelmed, juggling work and being so active on the committee, I just needed to look at Patti. She never made excuses or expected any special treatment. She was always the first person to arrive and the last to leave. She and I had many conversations about the realities of her death. She always says that she needed Jessica's House to be a success because she was going to need it one day. Being involved at Jessica's House helped Patti to find meaning and purpose, as she did so many other times throughout the years of community involvement. I was so incredibly proud of her. Spending that time with her was so meaningful. She had so much willpower, tenacity, and conviction. I really admired her for that. I do, however, think Patti would be disappointed if I didn't also include that she loved to send multiple, very long emails every single day. She had a point to make, and my goodness, she knew how to get things done. One of the things that stood out for me was the emphasis that Patti would put on saying thank you to everyone. She always had several handwritten notes that she delivered to sponsors, to community members, and to local merchants that supported us. After a successful event and the fanfare had settled, Patti arrived at my front door with one of those handwritten notes for me, which I keep in a safe place, and I took it out to read it again while considering what I would say today. She also gave me this beautiful statue, which she thought represented the strength of women and of friendship, and I will always treasure it and my friendship with Patti.
P.S. If there's somebody who taught me how to fearlessly ask for money and sponsorships, it was Patti. She is the one who taught me how to be a respectful and thankful, grateful fundraiser. So I am challenging each and every one of you here at Handbags for Hospice to please bid generously in honor of the work that all of the people who plan this event have put into it. We're here to raise money, that's the bottom line. So in honor of Patti, please up your bids, up somebody else's bids. Let's make shit happen.